Welcome back, everyone. We've just wrapped day 1 of the FACEIT League Season 3 playoffs in the EMEA region, which means we're now getting ready for all things NA. And of course, I brought in reinforcements for that one. I have Jake and Jaws joining me. How you doing?
Yeah, how you what now?
How you doing? How you doing?
How am I doing?
Doing?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. You say reinforcements. I was expecting Johnny to pop out of nowhere in a random 4th box, but
out of the ether. He sometimes does that.
Let's do that.
Jake, why?
Out of nowhere.
What happened to your hair? Is so dark. I literally just saw you 2 days ago.
That is very
I didn't dye it, guys. It's just the light. It's just the light. Should I go midnight black though? Would that work? This is like my
maybe that's your art. I don't know. New year, new you, perhaps.
No, guys, I like my hair. I'm happy.
And then you should get a lip ring like I had and be really sick and then spike.
Whoa, that would be hard.
Oh, you had a lip ring?
Yeah, black.
Into my god.
Also,
I'm imagining
there is a little hole.
We need a photo.
I'm learning so much about Jack. He had a lip ring. He also actually dices his apples, not slices his apples.
All right, show it, Jack. Okay.
But that's not a cube. You don't know what a cube is.
Not bad. I was just snacking on an
that's
apple.
That's a quarter moon.
They were giving me crap because I was like, I cube them up, whatever, and they were like, you do what? Sorry, it was like the worst thing ever said on broadcast ever.
What you just showed us is not a cube. A cube has 4 sides.
All right, yeah, my bad. It's a cube, but it's
like
not.
This is more a triangle than it's ever been a cube. Well,
the 3D trapezoid, whatever this is, I guess.
Okay, from we're.
How do you transition out of this?
I don't know. I can't. I tried drops. Perhaps I can just completely distract people with drops. How about you connect your accounts with each other and earn drops? You should do that. You should give that a try. Have you tried that, Jack?
I have tried that, and I was successful at it, and I got some drops. So
Love
I think
that for you.
All should do it as well.
I stay linked up on the drops. I mean, come on, this is amateur stuff. This is day 1 stuff. I've been dropping. I've been getting drops. Come on, get the people in the chat out there. Link your accounts.
That's right. And you can't just get. I mean, you just saw in the lower third there, right? There's free Overwatch cosmetics, but there's so much more on that FACEIT website. Like, go and browse, have a look around. There's lots of stuff you can grab, including a laptop. We talked about that with Mitch already. So, yeah, well worth it. Well worth a link up, right? Right.
A link up. Yeah,
I gotta start farming those points. I need a new gaming laptop. That would go crazy.
It does go.
All the traveling over the holidays, that actually work out super well for a lot of people, I think.
Could be nice.
Well, you'll earn a lot of drops watching FACEIT League, and there's plenty of FACEIT League to come as well. If we're taking a look at our format, I mean, we already went over this. Right now, we're at the very end of this year, obviously, Season 3 playoffs. However, there's so much more to come. Here's our pyramid. And we're now directly funneling into the OWCS next year. So there will be relegation matches, and that means that the best, the cream of the crop from the FACEIT League can actually qualify to participate in the OWCS circuit.
And also a huge increase in the prize pool.
Oh, yeah.
For tier 2, like quadrupling the prize pool from last year. So, I mean, for a lot of players, a lot of teams who've been, on the outskirts, not only could you potentially make it to the OWCS to play in the biggest lands in the world, but maybe if you're not quite on that level yet, there's still a lot of money to be won, a lot of FACEIT points to be won, get those gaming laptops. So definitely get your signups in. They are still open for next season for the future of Overwatch competitive.
Yeah,
dude, get this guy on the voiceovers. Damn, right? This tone from
memorize the lines.
That's what I'm talking about.
I love that for us. Yeah, but FACEIT.com/FACEIT League is where you can sign up to compete in January. That's like a few weeks away, actually. Registrations will close at the end of January, and up until then, you should get ready with your team, with your friends or foes. I don't know who you want to play with, but
I'm just scared. Sorry that you said 2025 is a few weeks away. That is very scary.
It's crazy,
when did 2024 happen?
I know, this year was flying, man. And that's because we had fun. Because we got to watch some of the finest players in all of Overwatch battle it out in OWCS and at the FACEIT League. Let's take a look at who made it to the top here in Season 3. These are our top 8 teams in the region who will battle it out in this double elimination bracket. First to 3, all the way up to the grand finals, where we will be playing in a best of 7.
Oh, yes. I mean, look. Hey, that first game, Nightmare versus UCI, it's a little tough considering they just did pretty well at Stockholm. So, yeah, not the best opponents to match up in the first round of the quarterfinals there, but it's all good.
Maybe, I like the Citrus Nation Dreamland one. I can see that being a close. They've been closely matched all regular season long. I think that one actually has the potential to be a banger.
And they've both been teams that have kind of innovative, that haven't necessarily locked in the meta, have played their own styles and been confident with those off-meta picks. And so I think, it's going to be exciting to see how they approach this newest patch, where there's been just a bit more adaptation than we saw in Stockholm, where the meta was pretty fixed.
Right, on your screen you can see the UCI roster right now. They're definitely the underdog coming into this. They're literally just like squeezed into it after the regular season, and they're going up against, well, the top squad in NA. So it's going to be a tall order to go up against. We do have some name value there, especially on the bench. McGravy, of course, a very familiar name. And a lot of these players, they've been playing with each other for a long time in collegiate as well. So many years of experience together. And yeah, they actually just added a few new players, I think in October, so a few new pieces to the puzzle. Let's see what they have in store for us.
But look at this, man. Like, can you really bet against this team? Zera, Seekit, Infected, Admiral, and Zed? Like, oh, there's just no way. I mean, look, McGravy, fantastic coach. Can he coach UCI enough to defeat Nightmare? Oh, I mean, it's a tough ask.
I think definitely Nightmare has to be the favorite. They're just like a team with a lot more experience at the highest level. But I think this is actually a pretty good meta for Junker Queen, which is kind of Romani's like signature one-trick hero. So I'm pretty convinced that UCI are going to be playing the Queen. And it's a meta where I think the Queen can work. And when it comes to piloting it, I do have a lot of confidence in Romani. So Nightmare, they can't take it too easy, I think, in this series.
Well, here's the map set for us. Guys, walk me through it.
Thank you very much, Zoe. Yes. Oasis, Kings Row, Runasapi, New Junk City, and Gibraltar. Honestly, Jake, if we were going to have a kind of a Mauga Orisa meta again, I would attempt to sabotage these map picks and map choices and only go to dive maps. But this is actually kind of a nice little spread here. How do you think Nightmare, I mean, going up against what you can imagine is going to be a Queen comp, from what we've seen in EU as well, what kind of tank lineup do you think here for Nightmare would be most beneficial to him?
I mean, I think this is a real opportunity for Nightmare to show us what they've been practicing and how they think about the meta, because you could just play the Mauga and make it work. People have won that matchup. It certainly hasn't seemed unwinnable, but I don't mind the Orisa either, giving a little bit more of that like one-to-one counter potential to the Junker Queen. UCI also going with the classic Queen comp here, the Lucio Kiriko, which that's a really drastic off-meta choice, right? To not play Juno right now, where she looks like probably the best hero in the game, is kind of a wild move. So this is a full commit from UCI. It's kill or be killed, and these are going to be some very fast fights.
Still not nerfed, by the way. Didn't get touched at all. We are playing on live patch right now without the ability to use Hazard. So we won't be seeing him, sadly. Hopefully soon. However, it will be UCI on the low ground, unfortunately for them. Not exactly where the Queen wants to be. Sojourn getting a massive buff, Jake, in this patch. It's going to be quite deadly against the Ashe.
Yeah, Ashe still a threat, and UCI struggling. Health bars dropping low on both DPS, and Infected, though, having some trouble as he tries to take this rotation to point. Still, UCI playing very carefully, not finding their opportunity just yet.
I mean, look at that. Yeah, instant spear. As soon as Romani goes to that axe swing there, that carnage, ain't no way Infected's letting that one go. Easy spear, pushes him back, and then instantly eliminated, and pushing all the way to spawn too.
And the Sojourn, I think, is a strong hero, right? Like, has gotten a lot of buffs, but against the Orisa, it can sometimes be a little awkward. Not only is there multiple ways for Orisa to cancel that slide and catch the Sojourn if she gets caught too deep, but also Orisa, not the easiest hero to poke with and just farm those rails. Romani, though, has really been feeling a ton of pressure. I mean, both Admiral and Infected can boop him back and protect the team. And I mean, you get the pull, right? But you just can't follow it up onto something like an Orisa.
Yeah, still got gold probably as well. XL trying to find an angle here, but instantly that orbital ray has been used as soon as UCI try and step through that choke point, and Otters just evaporated. Crusher 99, my favorite Overwatch League legend.
Oh, Zera, that's a dirty kill. Like, I didn't think there was any chance for him to get that. Just slides in behind. So risky, too, if he fails that kill. Could just die without the dash, but Zera's been a really impressive player, especially in the last few tournaments. I think he's really come into his own. I think definitely a player to watch on this Genji.
All right, 50% in building. Romani's still not with an ult, sadly. Both support ultimates favorable for UCI as they try and make their way through the choke once again. Well, they're going to be able to spot Seeker out on the Ashe, deploys the Bob in the end. Rush coming through as well on the choke point. The Bob doing a fair bit of work to Romani there, can't quite step up. But they Infected it, and Seeker do end up claiming kills, even though Seeker didn't end up going down. A very scrappy affair as the blade's been popped by Zera, taking out Romani, making this fight extremely tough for UCI. Still not able to kind of break this choke point. One person on the point, however, make that two, in fact, as it will be Sai and Otters. coming in, but there's not going to be a flip at all. Just respawns available for Nightmare, and they come back full force.
UCI have a lot of ultimates, but they have a long way back in this round, right? You got to win this fight for UCI without over-ulting. Blade gets one. Oh my god!
Oh, he fell off the map. Well, Zed ends up taking him down. Sai dead. Nightmare now pushing forward with the rally. However, instantly taken out by that disruption shot. Xcal going absolutely crazy in the front line. Rips the overclock. Actually decimates Nightmare. Aberrant was so low during that fight. Tried to turn the shield, stop the disruptor shot damage coming in, but that rally just dissipating so fast as Nightmare fall over. Thought they won that fight too off the back of that support.
Yeah, but the good fight from Nightmare, I think, did get all the ults out of UCI. So in the end, Nightmare going to feel pretty good about this. Seeker, that's Crusher 99, going to go over to the Reaper, be an even harder target for any potential rush in with that Queen and Genji. And this Orbital Ray could be devastating. No counter on the side of UCI. Let's see how they deal with this.
Yeah, you got to save that speed boost if you're Otters, right? Romani looking for a small little flank angle there, but it looks like Nightmare are just going to push themselves onto the point. Sai, main focus the damage right now, and here comes the Orbital Ray. Little pulsar torpedoes as well. UCI's DPS have actually jumped onto the point, away from that extra damage coming through from Nightmare. The Xcal does end up going down as 3 members of Nightmare look around. 180 as they see the point being capped. As the Terror Surge coming through from Infected as well. A lot of health bars going incredibly low. And there was no chance there for UCI to come back. Both their DPS just split up from the rest of the team, lacking the damage, the firepower, and everything else to boot as Nightmare take round 1.
It's a solid round from Nightmare, right? Can't argue with it. From the mid-fight, being stable, getting the point cap before really forcing that engagement, so they're already ahead on the control percentage, taking the aggressive fight in the spawn. I mean, Nightmare are really showing the breadth of their experience as a team, right? I love the Reaper swap as well in the final fight, where you know you're pushing in, you know you have the ultimate advantage, and you just take away one extra liability from your comp. All right, this is hit scan is the obvious target for you to try to jump on when we push in, and we're just going to drop the hit scan for this push. And now much harder for UCI to find any kind of opening, any kind of opportunity, and they get shut down.
Well, it's like the meta previous, except it's got an Orisa now almost. Well, I suppose we're Seekers on the Ashe, which is nice. See if Romani can fare any better here on the Queen. Bit easier for the Queen to kind of run around the center point, but very tough to dislodge Orisa, even at the best of times. Orisa getting a small buff as well, losing a little HP, but getting armor in replacement, and then her Terror Surge extended by 2 meters, so grabbing people a little bit further away.
Nice moves by Otter there. Pushes back Zero a little bit on the Genji as UCI going to rotate to the high ground. Players taking a lot of poke pressure. Nightmare is doing so well on this aggressive pressure.
Yeah, Romani is just getting turned to spam, put in a can, and then served straight up onto Musubi. Like, the guy is just getting demolished. I mean, I love Romani, respect to him, and the amount he plays Queen and how high he's got in the ranks with it. And he's very prolific on it, but against an Orisa, it's just so hard. And of the caliber of Infected as well, it is just a losing battle, it feels like.
Yeah, and the choice to be on this Lucio as well. I mean, maybe you need it, arguably, to play the Queen, but that's the challenge here. Without a Brig, without a Juno, so difficult to win these sustained fights. I mean, the health bars from UCI are just constantly dropping thanks to the pressure from Seeker and Infected. The spam is so good that, I mean, UCI just hasn't found like a single aggressive dive unless they have big ultimates to deploy.
I mean, look at the ult disparity right now as well between the tanks.
They just can't do
Terror
anything.
Surge available.
How painful this choke is.
Well, anyway, time to use CDs. There's the shout. Sai's already down. KHD under pressure. And there's the Terror Surge. Skewered, put on the barbecue. And there go the supports. Oh, nice spear onto Romani.
He might die.
Almost. Oh, he did. Oh, that's rough.
And they're gonna hold the spawn here. I mean, why not? Why not? This Orisa has great long range poke pressure. The Ashe is gonna feel better than the Sojourn, especially in these open fields. I mean, you would just love to take the trades out here. Man, these long range spears from Infected. This is so annoying. It's really hard to walk.
He's gonna get a trapper kill. He's gonna get a trapper kill, surely.
They're gonna fight out here. I mean, they're not scared.
Well, there's the Bob, hits the pillar, Rush launched out, but only deals with the Bob, really. Good trade, yeah. Nightmare in backing off. They got an orbital raid, they got a rally coming up, and the Blade, and in fact, he can just play on the high ground. Oh, sorry, Zera can play on the high ground. Does end up having to dash away.
Oh, he's dancing
over, and he's slippery. Okay, OT approaching now. Suzu coming in, already used. The blade pop here from Zera could be all they need. Crush 99 does end up going down, so Seeker dead. There's the blade, ends up getting pulled, and Romani gets sliced clean in half as soon as he pops his ult. Rally, Orbital Ray against the blade, nothing that Sai can really do. He does end up picking a 1 kill on Admiral, but where's the connections for the next swipes? Looks like it's going to be after KHD to actually pick up a couple of kills here. Zera goes down as Nightmare still control the point. There's 3 people on it that have to deal with Infected. Seeker ends up coming back. A swift double kill. A Terror Surge to finish it off as Otters is just demolished as Nightmare. They take a very quick and clean map victory on Oasis.
Infected is feasting in this game, right? Like, he's constantly running it down into the other enemy backline. Anytime he gets low, he just presses 1 scale, backs off. I mean, UCI just cannot deal with the frontline pressure from this Orisa, the Juno behind her. They're just never getting a crack in the tank line, and it looks so desperate trying to force something when you're losing the tank trade this hard.
Yeah, I mean, Romani, how many ults did he get off? 1, but he didn't even actually hit Q, but it didn't connect. It was actually the
first round, and he got one off. It was like they want to fight with it, but it took them everything. Right. And I mean, Infected just has no pressure on him in this comp, right? Like, Sojourn doesn't really want to shoot an Orisa. Just too many rails to actually get through her. Maybe with overclock, maybe it's possible, but they're just not able to with the Lucio Curie. I think that's kind of the real problem here. Like, you don't have the staying power in the front line. You need to be hitting aggressively, getting an instant kill, but you're up against Brig Juno. I mean, like, no one's even low. There's no opportunities for that kind of kill.
Nice long range shots there from Infected too. Oh
yeah, the execution from Nightmare is really clean too.
Oh, Romani, I didn't see that there.
I mean, he would have been canceled by the bash, like.
Dodged out of the beat as well. Otters laid down the sound barrier. I don't think Romani got any of that overheld. So, yeah, very unlucky for Romani there. Quick 1-0 for Nightmare, who unsurprisingly has an 11-0 record coming in to today here at the FACEIT Master League Season 3. As we jump into King's Row pretty quickly here, Jake. Can't imagine we're going to see too many variations in comps from UCI, but you never know.
I mean, you got to remember, Nightmare is just the juggernaut in this tournament, right? Like, they are the team to beat. They're 11-0 in the regular season. They're the team that's competed Tier 1 on land with some of the best teams in the entire world and look competitive and look like they belong to that group of teams. UCI, on the other hand, I mean, certainly we can't say the same about them. They're going to try to force, their vision of the game, trying to play things a little bit differently. Maybe try and hope for some kind of mix-up, catching Nightmare off guard. But Nightmare look really stable, really strong, and I think trying to play these like off-meta strats, especially against a team as flexible as Nightmare. I mean, Infected just plays every tank, right? Zero just plays every DPS. Like right. You're not really gonna catch them off guard. It's gonna just take heroics, but heroics are what you're getting from Nightmare. The DPS are just constantly popping off here.
Ooh, a little Widow. Okay, I like this a lot.
And the Echo as well, man. Sai is going to have such a hard time on Genji into this matchup. Echo is going to be just free reign in the sky here.
Yep. It's going to be a little tough. Got to be careful, though. These railgun shots, very deadly to Widow. A good knife, too, onto Sarah. Okay, good first kill. Holding this choke point's going to be quite nice for Romani, but they cannot get picked up by this Widowmaker.
And now with their own Juno, maybe they can take this DPS trade a little bit more consistently with KHD able to sustain Romani. Maybe that is the difference in terms of tank sustain that gives UCI the stable front line they need.
All right, X-Scout burning to death there, unfortunately. Romani shouts, moves forward, steps on the wrong side of the map by the looks of it there, going extremely low. Zera's actually going to give chase too. And there's the kill. A nice little whip shot there from Admiral through Hotel. Otters also gets speared to the wall, and as quick as it started, as quick as it was over. Nightmare, 3 minutes on the clock. They're going to cap point A.
Great catch by Nightmare there. Just knowing that the aggression's going to come in. They swap to the Ashe, who can tolerate that kind of push a little bit better. Zero over to the Genji as well. Rather than the poke pressure that Echo provides, Genji just a little bit stronger as an additional frontliner. And doubling down on the front line seems like exactly the ticket against this Junker Queen.
All right, Streets phase now. Unfortunately, it being a full wipe like this too. They're all going to respawn together, but can they actually hold this choke point? Especially with Infected having this Terror Surge, it's going to be tough for Romani once again to stand up to the Orisa. Good high ground control, however, from Sai and Otters up on there. But it's only a matter of time, really, before Seeker gets a kill, although almost gets taken out himself there. There's the Terror Surge, that's why I expected to come in. Sound barrier to match from Otters. Now here comes the Orbital Ray, a quick disengage there from UCI.
In the end, it's a 2-for-1. You're not feeling too bad about that as UCI, but you've got to stay alive. Everyone's got to stabilize here. Nightmare, though, get through the choke, and they want to pour the aggression on.
XCal, what a slide! Slides out of the way, and Infected ends up going down. Seeker behind the enemy lines right now with the Bob, but here comes the Orbital Ray straight into the rally. That shield cannot stand up to the pressure. Oh, just only Seeker now. Although, saying that, Zera's actually going to pop the blade. Thinks he can maybe win this one. Otters narrowly avoids getting taken out there. So Romani taking down Zera. That was a heroic play from the Genji. Didn't end up working out.
Yeah, but UCI trying to fight with 3. They're down both Sojourn, Lucio, and Juno. No way to fight here. Hopefully they just get out with their lives. Nightmare, even though they lose the fight, in the end, the trade gets them to move the card here, and they swap to the Kiriko so that they have something for this Queen ult.
Yep, here comes the blade. Little boot forward there, and instantly using that Suzu, but yeah, Zed can't run anywhere at all. The Aberral also falls to the blade. Nice little whip shot initially, and Suzu, but good Genjis will save that dash after that whip shot ends up coming in, and there's Zera. Does end up getting the kill onto Otters, so they do end up trading that, but it is a Lucio, so they'll be back very quickly.
That's a huge find, though. Ooh, like taking down the Lucio, Venture coming out. Nightmare, once again, they're just not backing down at all from the frontline pressure. And another hero who can escape potentially from the Queen ult. I think that's a big shout in this kind of engagement. Queen ult can sometimes just win the game on its own. So you've got a lot of answers here for Nightmare.
Whoa, there you go. Always a bit risky with that Venture when you hit that burrow. Don't want to hit it too late. All right, Queen ult still available from Romani. Hits a big axe swing there onto the front line, but still taking a lot of damage. This armor from the Orisa that just got buffed, just really showing its full force. Suzu maybe required there. Here comes the sound barrier from Otters to stop that Terror Surge getting full effect. Still though, Infected still under a lot of pressure, but look at the heal bot action coming through from Zed. There's absolutely nothing they can do in the front line. Just so much to CC and sustain from Infected. I mean, it is Seeker at the end of the day, cleaning up the backline. As that entire time, the entirety of UCI were looking at Infected, but you're holding left click as Kiriko there, Jake, and the Orisa is not dying anytime soon.
Yeah, the Juno plus Kiri hard pocketing, and Z-Man, why is he just holding on to that cleanse? He knows as soon as he uses that, it's an opening for Romani.
Oh, what
on the 2 instant cleansed.
Unbelievable instant cleanse there, as well as that spear spin from Infected, stopping Romani's ult in his tracks. Didn't hit anybody in the backline whatsoever. And even then, if it did, the cleanse would have hit everybody anyway. So yeah, perfectly countered ultimate. The Queen
so
really
many
struggling
in this comp. Like for the Queen ult, just so many responses. The Juno has, I think, helped stabilize their front line. Romani's not just getting like bulldozed over, but now Nightmare have just swapped their focus, and they're pressuring the Sojourn. They're pressuring the enemy Juno. Maybe the Queen can stand strong, but if you pick off these backliners, everything's gonna fall apart. Seeker, this could be a big find if he gets a catch.
Whoa, nope. XCal takes a couple of little left clicks there, but that's about it. XCal going super low though. Oh, just not healed. Blade ends up getting popped there from side to try and settle the score, but instantly taken out by Zera. Just the Orbital Ray instantly popped. They know they can win the fight as soon as XCal ends up going down. And, well, that's all she wrote for that DPS ult. They've only got one to really hold on with here. UCI, they're going to come out with an overclock, but that's about it. But they've got Terror Surge and the Venture ult to come up against. Well, they're going to try and pop it. But it's just too much AoE damage shake, unfortunately. 0.6 meters to go. XCal finds one, but cleaned up by Z-Man. And that should be that. That is the push from Nightmare with 2 minutes and 20 seconds in the time bank.
Such a powerful set of ults to finish out a cap in overtime, right? With the Terror Surge spinning on card, you got the Venture ult. I mean, you gotta come touch this objective, and they're just so ready to punish. Nightmare, this is an unconventional comps, not an assortment of heroes I've seen combo before, but seems like a great response to what UCI are bringing. And I really like this from Nightmare. They're not just saying, okay, we're going to play the meta. We've always practiced it. Just spam it. We'll be fine. We can beat anything. No, they're actually just going to respond. Okay, UCI, you're going to make these adjustments. You're going to try and play a comp to punish us, and we're going to continue to adapt, and showing that respect to teams that maybe you're higher ranked than, maybe you would expect to beat them, but you're still adapting to them, and you're still giving them the respect you would give a top team. I think really speaks volumes about Nightmare and their intentions in this tournament to win it all.
Had a decent showing as well at Stockholm, worth remembering. Of course, they didn't win in their first game against Space Station. That was a 2-0. A bit of an upset, too. A lot of people were saying Space Station were one of the best teams there, especially in the meta that they were in. They did end up losing to NRG Shock in the lower bracket quarters, but still a very decent showing regardless. Yeah, just the amount of adaptations they can do, like you said, Jake. The hero pool is so vast. It's quite scary. This upper bracket finals, especially with no like elimination bracket or a double elim bracket. UCI almost doomed in that regard.
Yeah, this is a scary spot to be. Maybe XCal opening things up with the Widow pick could be what they need to get the ball rolling. It's a big time bank for Nightmare, so UCI really need to respond in kind.
Oh, I really like the Sojourn picks right now. Super strong. Still, though, Ashe, very capable in her own right.
I do think Bob is particularly great against Junker Queen. I mean, Junker Queen, one of the tanks that really just doesn't have much to answer the Bob other than raw damage compared to heroes who can displace the Bob or kind of tank it. Nice job by Romani, though, slipping through, not getting booped off that Infected was looking for. It's going to allow him to contest this high ground.
But look how much damage he's taken. Nosta's already dead. Source of healing now missing for UCI. Eventually gets speared off of that high ground and looking for another entrance into it. Looks like Hotel. He's going to attempt to make a reservation, but quickly kicked out of the front door. And there you go. There's the kill onto Romani. As soon as he used that shout, Jake, that armor on the Queen is just non-existent, really, right? I mean, at the end of the day, Infected's got so many tools to survive with. The healers don't even need to pay attention to him half the time.
And Ashe is just, it's going to be so difficult, right? With the Lucio Juno, you have so much speed for the Queen, for the Genji to initiate in. But trying to contest on a flank, on an off-angle Ashe, much more difficult. This Lucio Juno, they want to be 5-stack with their whole team. They don't necessarily want to be chasing down a flanker. And, I mean, look at the Seeker's just ready. Very defensive position here. He knows that he needs to get shut down for UCI to accomplish anything. And, man, the space control is really beautiful from Nightmare. They're going to bring the whole team for UCI through this high ground, but I mean, this is going to be open season for Seeker.
Yeah, super easy.
Oh, no,
and
this is
there's
sad.
just and the reflect kill from Zera. Zera almost falling, though, but yeah, like you said, open season for Seeker on the Ashe. Otter's dead, and UCI, their comp that they love so much, unfortunately just being torn to ribbons by Nightmare.
I mean, there's just levels to this, Jack. Like, Nightmare has such a clean setup, right? Like, playing every angle. They know the angle of approach. They have a perfect response. They don't even really need these ultimates. I mean, UCI are going to have to ult just to start the fight, just to open something up and create some chaos. Nightmare, I think they're just going to sit on 5 ultis. Maybe they'll go with, like, a Bob or a spin if there's an easy opportunity. This time, though, Romani trying to take the approach lower to point. I don't think you're going to be able to cap point. With the amount of pressure Nightmare can put on spam-wise, so difficult. You're chasing a Genji right now. Is that going to work?
Yep. No. He's got dash, so unfortunate. 5 ults for Nightmare. Romani's on the point. 1 minute and 30 seconds to go now. They don't really need to do all too much, just trying to tease some cooldowns out. Well, Sai ends up falling, and here comes the orbital raise. KHD's now on the point. Nightmare not going to want to dance with this one. Bob does end up falling, but that raise is going to dissipate in just a moment, and they can just return with theirs. Terror throws to the high ground. KHD just instantly killed. A sound barrier not quite quick enough from Otters to save the Juno. With only a minute to go, UCI need to either get in or get out. Looks like they're going to choose to get out, but not through their own... through their own means. They're not going to hold S, they're just going to die. Nightmare still have 3 ults to go as well, Jake. And with 50 seconds, it's looking a little rough for them.
Yeah, you've got double support ultimate online. I mean, especially this rally is so powerful into the Junker Queen ult, right? You always have the chance to just stun Junker Queen out of ult, completely cancel it. And that's if she gets his path to your Orisa, right? Something like Overclock maybe could make magic happen, but that orbital ray is always such a big threat. It's going to be so hard for these DPS of UCI to stay alive fighting into an orbital ray. Zera, I think, is going to have a big opportunity with a blade. No support ultimate to stop him.
All right, here's the blade first. A lot of slices there sent towards Infected. There's the bash coming through from Admiral. Pops the rally. And what do they do now? Size blade now just not... pretty much didn't do anything. I mean, it all healed up, realistically. And Zera just, well, pops the blade, and that'll be it. There's only 30 seconds to go or so, as this blade is just doing an unbelievable amount of damage, and Infected, of course, still alive. Almost 100% HP there. Eventually ends up going a little bit lower than you'd expect. In fact, falling by Sai, but it's all Zera all day, baby. Lucius on the board, but hang on a second. Excal ends up coming back in, and I say, kill as Zera just absolutely schools Excal. Does end up getting taken down, but the Juno Orbital Ray does end up coming through, so a lot of extra healing and extra damage there from a Z-Man. Oh, and the pause. No. Oh, and
DC.
Seeker DC.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so because of that DC, I feel like UCI should cap here. I mean, yes, you have Orbital Ray, but it's just Juno on point. A lot of long spawns.
Oh.
Man, that was disgusting from Zero, though. The overclock came in. It's like, oh, I'm going to finish capping this point. Not on Zero's watch. Still, though, I mean, UCI, at least they've opened the first checkpoint, but you got to remember, I mean, their backs are so against the wall here on King's Row. Capping with overtime is not going to be good enough. You need to have some time bank to work with.
Yeah, and you've expended all your ultimates as well. To be fair, the other team has too, but you still need to spend time building them up and actually getting a big ult snowball fight to try and get through Second of Kings. So, yeah, unfortunately, with that DC... Oh, maybe not. Okay, here we go. Here we go. We're back in. We're back in. Z-Man?
Oh.
Oh.
Are we back in?
Are we back in? That's the question. Well, Z-Man looks like he's chilling.
This is
Romani's
Z-Man
on the
does
dude.
not look like he's chilling, Jack. This
He's chilling.
looks
No,
really
watch this.
not
No,
chill.
he's chilling. He's chill.
This does not look chill for Z-Man.
Romani has no CDs for like 3 seconds, so he's chill. He gets the high ground.
Like
Here's the
1v4.
plan. He gets the high ground. He has the ray still going, which will disappear in a couple of seconds. Abral comes back, packs him. Then Seeker comes in, triple blink, on point. He's chilling, Jake. Look, he's chilling.
He is chilling.
He's still alive. He's dead.
Okay. He almost had that. He was really close. I
almost.
like your vision there with Straw and Jack. Z-Man probably going to regret jumping that Ray. Maybe he thought if he keeps Zero online, you know, maybe they do just close it out there. Starting to feel really confident here. Excal over to the Widow. This is the type of variable I think you may need. I mean, the Widow's going to be very hard to stay alive against a player like Zero. We've seen what he can do. But I think maybe your hand is forced for UCI. Widow is just that hero who can always create a win condition no matter what else is going on in the lobby. And I think it may be necessary. But look, he's scared to even go on the high ground. Zero on the flank.
Oh, that Terror Surge, which is absolutely massive. And Otters, I believe, is split off from the team, yeah? There's the Terror Surge kill. Doing the trading, though. Seeker does end up going down on the Ash. But Infected just standing tall in the front line. Shout comes through from Romani now pushing in. Infected, no CDs left realistically. As soon as that spear spin goes down, it's going to be very vulnerable. Receives the speed ring from Z-Man just in time. As Nightmare just trying to make their retreat. Another fortify. Not quite, sadly, there for Infected. Damage a bit too much. Another shout comes through. UCI going to be able to clean up Nightmare.
That was way too close to Infected surviving that fight. I mean, an unbelievable peel from the rest of the team. Still, though, it's the opening for UCI. The Curie ult gets them a ton of cart push. Those staggers were very late for Nightmare, so it's going to be coming down to a final fight, to a final contest. You only really have the rally online. UCI kind of has all the tools they need in a great position for Widow. What are Nightmare going to do in this situation?
Yeah, I mean, getting a headshot on someone here is going to be really tough as well. You're dealing with a couple of flankers. Blade ends up coming through, yeah, from sight. Bit of damage onto Infected too. Z-Man ends up going down, same with Abral. Support's dead now for Nightmare. Aside just looks towards Infected, who has no backup, no support left. 40 seconds to go, but Zera thinks he can actually win this fight. Otter's now down. A TP and a claim's already used. He ends up carving up a Psy, and maybe even a third. KHD eventually, with a single kunai, takes down Zera. Sliver of HP remaining. That could have been a very different fight there if that shot missed. Eventually, UCI does manage to cap that second point with 1:50 in the bank.
Man, KHT lives on like less than 10 HP there. And honestly, I think if he goes down there, that's the fight. That's potentially the game. UCI, though, once again, battling back from a tough spot. Still, though, you got so much delay potential for Nightmare. If they can just stall for overtime defense, it's going to be a win in their book.
Yeah, they're going to be able to do that. That comb is built for it.
Oh, no.
Oh, there comes the Pulsar Torpedo. Psy ends up going down. Rush used from UCI now, trying to push forward, but they're pushing forward into a Terror Surging Infected. They're actually just going to use that Ray first to force UCI away, force their positioning all the way back. Getting a free extra, a bit of ult charge as well for Zera.
Kind of a wasted Ray, though. I mean, that's a big ultimate. Getting no value is definitely way too low, unacceptable here. Ooh, Infected really going to go for it.
Infected super low. Double pocketed too. Couldn't quite stay alive. That DPS passive, that buff to it, in fact, really working out wonders for him. For UCI, sorry, at least. Zera's still coming up with the goods, though. My goodness.
The raw deathmatch from this guy. He's clutching way too many fights.
How is he killing so many?
He did just put this guy in Genji. We don't screw the meta. Put him on Genji. Lock in. Give me the heals. I'm clutching.
I mean, yeah. I mean, honestly, at this point, if everybody's dead but Zera's alive, you have a chance.
Okay, walls
have a
is
chance.
really going to help, though. Very hard for the flankers to get in when they're up against this wall hack. You've got to push down Infected, but so far, I mean, they're waiting out the walls incredibly well, not giving XCal any opportunities. Oh, hey, he's got a chance.
Oh! Zera out of nowhere eliminates XCal into with 10 seconds to go. They got to try and find something here. Duplication onto the Arista as they do march on forwards. Sound barrier available as well as that Rampage. They're going to have to try and find something in this fight because Nightmare are just finding pick after pick after pick. Zera Search ends up coming through as the Romani Rampage doesn't end up connecting with the backline. There's no Suzu available, but a nice little TP there away from the Kiriko. Does manage to save their life, but is Zera on the rush. He's going to finish it all as Nightmare going to hold on that 3rd point as they find a match point in the series.
This is a tour de force from Zera on the Genji, right? Like lighting it up, offense, defense, doesn't matter. So many opening kills and great discipline as well from Nightmare. In the moments where things are against them, they have to play slow. They actually have the read on that. It's not just that they're terminally aggressive, always going in because they're so confident. They're finding these perfect windows where there's just nothing UCI can really do. Oh my God, like moments like that. It's just, from Junker Queen looks pretty rough there.
Yeah, rougher than a bit of sandpaper, I think, Jake. Nice terror surge there from Infected. So he actually went for the helicopter play, is what he did there. I mean, Zera has also been farming. Like you said, his deathmatch has just been crazy, just in the neutral. Not afraid to pop ults either. This is the fight he almost won too. I mean, this could have been absolutely massive for Nightmare. Very, very clutch play though coming in for UCI to win out that 1st point at the very least.
Sai as well, though, fighting back pretty well. I mean, this fight, if he doesn't find those 2 picks onto Infected, I mean, this was disgusting. Zera's like, you gotta just believe in these moments, but this is insane. I mean, the clutch potential, though, in the individual basis is there from UCI, right? We saw in that clip, as much as we're highlighting Zera, Sai and KHD finding picks of their own, like finding the trades. They are making this messy, and they're definitely not allowing it to be easy for Nightmare. But it's the team play that puts Nightmare over the top. And somebody like Seeker, being a core hitscan player who's just going venture in the series because that's what he needs to do, that he feels like this is going to be a better character. Really great use of the flexibility that you just don't see that many core hitscan players willing to bring out a hero like Venture.
Well, hopefully we see a little bit more Venture here. Runa Sapi is the next map. I know, it feels weird being on 3rd map already, but Oasis was very fast. Yeah, here we go. What do you think we're going to see here from Nightmare? Probably the same thing, but let's talk about like DPS matchups specifically. Because you've seen XCal even pop over to like the Widowmaker. Do you expect to see that?
The Widow has just looked really tough against how aggressive Nightmare is. I mean, I think with this Junker Queen comp, for me, it's like maybe you just have to play Widow and you're just like praying for your Widow to get miracle kills, but it doesn't really make sense. It's not a good time to be on Widow. It's just forcing it for the sake of forcing it. Yeah, Nightmare not going to be on a core hit scan. I think that's an interesting choice. I think an Ashe would have been a very normal character to come out here, especially given Seeker's competency. But he's feeling it on the Venture right now, wants to take it into the enemy backline and punish. And KHD and Otters could be in trouble, right? There's a lot of aggressive potential from Infected and the 2 DPS to kill off something like an Ana. I mean, if he doesn't hit his sleeps, it's going to be a really tough fight to survive.
XCal on the Tracer. Sai on the Echo. Can be fairly easy to deal with that Venture, to be fair. There's the Echo. Nice anti-nade on Infected, but will it matter? Oh, double sticky bomb kill from Sai. Okay, that's something at least. But of course, Zera has got hella resets. I mean, look,
dude, he's killing them all.
Dude, my
this comp is actually Genji is God comp. It's like we are all gonna go in and die, and Genji will carry us. I mean, this is what you want if you got a Genji player like Zera on your team, right? Put him on a comp where it's just like you put the pressure on him, you know he can deliver and getting these resets, and he just snowballs exponentially into these fights. He's carrying the team, but they're doing a great job of stabilizing, creating opportunities for him to snowball.
So sharp on the Genji, man.
I mean, he's about to duel this Echo. He's about to dash into the sky and kill her. I mean, it's so unrealistic. I feel like it's gonna happen.
70% on the blade already. Oh, taking a lot of damage here. Not even finishing out that deflect. Had to dash away, knowing though that beam would have come in at any moment. Infected now in the back line, as well as Seeker. He doesn't end up using that burrow to get to the back. And look at that. Like you said, Jake, this back line is going to have a tough job of it staying alive against Infected, who ends up, you know, Infected ends up going in. You want to try and nade yourself. You want to try and bash whip shot, and then you have to worry about the Venture who pops up next to you. It's just so many small things you have to worry about as the UCI backline right now.
Yeah, and I'm thinking about this comp for Queen. I mean, like, normally Queen's this hero who wants to run in, right, like, get a knife on a backliner who can't escape, pull them in, get that kill. But who are you going on as Junker Queen into this comp? Like, Genji, Venture can both escape you super easily. Orisa's an absolute beast. And Kiri and Juno are so elusive, so hard to catch.
Well, here comes the rush. I mean, Romani! Yeah. Well, that's the second time in a row, unfortunately. Ult cancelled there by Nightmare. Duplication comes in as well. From Sai, okay, trying to sell the score. Seeker already taken out the backline yet again. Lands a double. 7.5 minutes to go.
Oh, he's gonna live.
I think this
it's not looking good,
here,
Jack.
but we'll see. We will see.
Seeker's in. He's about to go in. Oh my. Okay, surely they don't go for more kills here. Take the reset. But I mean, pushing past this choke into last on this map is where it really starts to get out of control, right? Like, this is the fight. UCI can stop the bleeding, but they're up against a really challenging old fight, and I mean, Seeker goes straight to the back line. You can
there's the rally. Ooh, can't quite get the burrow off, sadly. All right, Infected, overstaying your welcome. I think they're my son. Although does end up surviving, at least for the short time. Good little sleep onto Zera. Can they actually kill the Genji? That's the question. Here's the deflect. There it is, finally brought to justice. And 135 meters. That's all they're going to get.
In the end, it's expensive, though. It cost UCI everything. I mean, you did have to win that fight, but the cart still rolled through the choke for the duration. Seeker going to go back to the Ashe at an efficient time for the swap since he's already used that tectonic shock on Venture. And now Nightmare can just kind of be passive, play defensive for the next 6.5 minutes. I mean, running this clock down, UCI is going to have trouble crossing open space into the Ashe. And they're not even playing it, so they're just running it.
And they're dead. Okay, well, I think we go next fight, methinks.
Late deaths are really bad right now, though. Like, CY and XCal have to stay alive and reset because, I mean, look at that barrier, Jack. We're looking at an early cap here. And a late, oh, that's about as late as it gets. Sai got completely caught off on the flank there.
He's hitting the gritty on him, bro.
Oh.
I mean, look, hey, you gotta do it to him. I respect it. Oh, in the back line. Oh.
No way. This is illegal.
Oh, just put him in a highlight reel and put it on Twitter already, please. Social media manager of the FACEIT League account. Oh, please just put him on. Yeah, that's it. That's the cap, Jake.
That was a crazy kill on Admiral. Is that enough?
Infected AFK. And there it is. Nightmare with a full cap on Runa Sapi. Just a differential. Honestly, I mean, what more can be really said? I mean, Sarah went kind of sicko mode, and yeah, that's it. That's it. That's the quote. That's the title. That's the clip. That's the highlight.
Yeah, the team play really put Nightmare over the top there. But from an individual level, I mean, obviously we're highlighting Zera and Seeker for most of that series, Infected as well. But I gotta give it a shout out. I mean, Sai was having some pretty sick moments on the Echo, on the Genji, like getting a lot of trade kills. So from an individual perspective, I still think there were some stars on UCI, some players that I'm excited to see against other teams. But Nightmare, they just got the download, they get the perfect strategic responses, and they're just executing on way too high a level as a group and as individuals for this to be a close series.
Yeah, not too much more to be said, to be honest. This was a bit of a stomp, you know. They're playing catch-up. That's okay, because we had some closer games over in the EMEA region. So NA is all about speed and efficiency. Nightmare, we can appreciate that. But it's very clearly and very much on display why they were so dominant all regular season long.
Yeah. I mean, you come back from Stockholm as well, where you're scrimming some of the best teams, well, the best teams in the world, right? I mean, they're going to look strong and they're going to look dominant.
This kill.
I mean, although saying that, Zera putting up numbers like this, Zera doing what he was doing in this series, like, I mean, even if you're scrimming against the best in the world, that was a masterclass in how to play the Genji.
Yeah, definitely monster performance. And Seeker's Venture, I think, was a key part of how they got such an enormous lead here on Runasapi. This was another part of how they got a huge lead on Runasapi.
Yeah, true. Infected dancing on the payload, that's facts. He's just been a little payload princess, which is cool. That's fine, because Zera and Seeker were killing everything else.
And hitting the flank from the DPS there. I haven't even seen that push before on Runasapi, right? Send the Ashe and the Genji down that left angle flank, and they're just targeting down the back line.
No one goes there.
I've never seen that. That's
little staircase. Yeah.
I mean,
risky play, right? You can get punished, but it pays off.
Obviously, they looked really, really, really good, but also UCI, they were not the team to push them, you know? Like, we didn't expect them to be able to push them to the limits. I'm very interested to see, though, looking further into this bracket, like, which team can?
I mean, honestly, for me, Nightmare is the favorite to just win the whole thing. Like, I don't know if anyone's going to be able to test this team. I think you're going to have to beat them straight up. Like, I don't think you're going to be beating them by having some tricky comp. Like, Nightmare's very good at flexing and countering you. They're going to respond well to any kind of, like, weird strat you pull out. You need to beat them in, like, the head-to-head skill mirror. And that's a very high bar. That's a very high bar.
Right on. Well, we're heading into a quick break, and then we'll be back with our second match here in our NA region. Don't go anywhere.